The West Virginia men's basketball team finally gets a win away from the Hope Coliseum as they go on the road to defeat Arizona State 75-63. We're going to talk about that game. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. We're going to break it down, talk about the stats, and we're going to talk about what this means for the Mountaineers' chances of getting in the NCAA tournament later in the season. How much better are their chances, if any, after this win? So stick around and we'll talk about all of that right now. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner, your home for top shelf sports talk around the West Virginia Mountaineers and sometimes about the Big 12. Let's jump in and talk about West Virginia's 75-63 win over the Arizona State Sun Devils in Big 12 conference play. First and foremost, we have to give a shout out to Treysen Eaglestaff. The guy lit it up, 23 points, dropped 6 3-pointers on Arizona State. He had been struggling a lot. You know, we talked about it ad nauseum on this show. It's been talked about a lot everywhere, pretty much. He took some crap. Treysen Eaglestaff took a lot of crap from fans. I'm sure he was hard on himself. I'm sure his coaches were hard on him at times. But, man, the young man has turned it around, has pulled himself out of whatever slump he was in. In the last couple of games, he has come up huge. Teams have now figured out and started keying on stopping Honor Huff. And West Virginia has needed somebody else to score the basketball. And the last couple of games, Treysen Eaglestaff has been that guy. And if Treysen can continue to do what he's doing, West Virginia is going to be a very, very hard team to stop. If you have two guys who can shoot the ball and score the ball the way Honor and Treysen can, they're going to be a very good team to beat, especially if people like Harlan Obioha and Brendan Laurier continue to play the way they played in this last game against Arizona State. But let's go ahead and talk about some statistics from the game. West Virginia outshot Arizona State 51% to 47% from the field and 46% to 33% from three-point range. Free throw percentage. And by the way, West Virginia made 11 three-point shots. 6 of those were from Treysen Eaglestaff. Arizona State was 5 of 15 from three, so they didn't shoot the ball very well. Free throw percentage. West Virginia shot 77%, a huge improvement for them. That's you can live with that. 10 of 13 from the stripe, that's a good number. You'll take it. Arizona State, on the other hand, was only 10 of 18, 56%. Turnovers. Each team had 13. You'd like to get that number down, closer to 10 or 11. If you're West Virginia, points off turnovers, Arizona State actually won that battle 18 to 12. Total rebounds, Arizona State won that 30 to 29, but West Virginia stuck with them. Arizona State's a team who has 2 players that are close to 7 foot that start for them. West Virginia only has 1 in Harlan Obioha. West Virginia's a much smaller team, yet they were able to hang with Arizona State on the boards, just like they did with Colorado. Rebounding early in the season, rebounding was a struggle at times for this team. They have now turned that around and have started rebounding the ball much, much better, and they're doing it as a team. They're rebounding the ball as a team. Brendan Laurier does a good job. Harlan Obioha has improved his rebounding. Even Honor Huff at times is getting a lot of rebounds. Eaglestaff's getting a lot of he's doubled his rebound average from a year ago. So all the players are contributing to the rebounding. Offensive rebounds, it was 8-6 in favor of Arizona State. West Virginia actually wins the defensive rebounding battle by 1, 23 to 22. Second chance points, 10 to 9 in favor of the Mountaineers. Bench points, 13-11 in favor of Arizona State. Points in the paint, 34 to 28 in favor of Arizona State. But, West Virginia shoots a lot of three-pointers, so that obviously is going to affect that. Fast break points, 15 to 7 in favor of West Virginia. Blocks, thanks to Mr. Diop, I guess is how you pronounce it, for Arizona State. They won that battle, 6-0. Steals, West Virginia wins 7-6. And West Virginia had 17 assists to Arizona State's 15. Individually, I've already talked about Eaglestaff, but let's talk about it more. He was 8 of 14 from the floor, 6 of 9 from three, so extremely efficient, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Just a really good overall performance by Treysen Eaglestaff. Then you go down to Laurier, 15 points from Brendan Laurier to go along with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Jasper Floyd played a good game with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Honor Huff, only 8 points, but also had 2 assists well, he had no rebounds in this game, but he made that dagger, that big three-pointer at the end of the first half that I don't think the Arizona State player thought he would even shoot it from that far, and he drained it. That was, in my opinion, a big shot to cut the lead to 1 going into the half, or to 2 going into the half. And really, I thought gave West Virginia momentum as they went into the locker room. So even though he only had 8 points, he still contributed. And him being on the floor alone is helps the basketball team, because teams, like I mentioned earlier, they're going to key on him. They're going to double him, do everything they can to try to keep the ball out of his hands, which opens it up for people like Eaglestaff, Lorian, and others. And those guys are finally starting to knock down their shots. Jasper Floyd was 2 of 3 from 3. Brennan was 1 for 1 from 3. Harlan Obioha only had 6 points in this game, but had a rebound and an assist. And again, he did some good things down low on the defensive end, I thought. Did he play elite? No, but he played a pretty decent game. Amir Jenkins only played 9 minutes in this one. Jasper Floyd was playing so well, they just didn't take him off the floor a ton. DJ Thomas came in the game, played 19 quality minutes, had 5 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. And then Chance Moore did some good things with 6 points in 13 minutes. And in only 13 minutes, he had 5 rebounds. So Chance Moore was a difference maker in this game. When you look at the plus minus for the team, the players that made the biggest difference there, for West Virginia's plus minuses, the best on the team was actually Brennan Lorient at plus 14. Honor Huff and Treysen Eaglestaff each with plus 13. And then DJ Thomas was actually at plus 7. Those are your 4 highest plus minuses. Now, when you look at individual performances for Arizona State, their leading scorer was Marcus Odom, their best player, or Maurice Odom, I'm sorry, who's been their leading scorer all year. He had 17 points on 6 of 14 shooting. I mentioned Diop, who's Coach Hodge thinks will be an NBA player. You've got Masamba Diop, who's they're starting big, 7'1" guy. He's a very hard player to guard. He's so tall and so athletic. But he had 14 points, 5 rebounds. He also had several blocks in the game. Had 4 blocks total. No, I'm sorry, 2 blocks. 2 blocks in the game, both coming in the first half. So, 2 block shots to go along with 5 rebounds and 14 points, and was really in that first half was giving West Virginia some problems, but in the second half they were able to do a little better job on him. Let's look at he had 10 points in the first half and only 4 in the second half, just to look at the stats on that. Other players on the team that had good games, Noah Mewson had 11 points on the day to go along with 5 rebounds. And then their leading rebounder, or one of their leading rebounders, was actually Santiago Truitt, who had 6 rebounds. And Alan Makiba also had 6 rebounds, but he did it in very limited minutes. He only played 12 minutes and had 6 rebounds. So he rebounded the ball very well for Arizona State. Did Makiba. Now, let's go ahead and jump back over here and just talk a little bit about what this means going forward for this Mountaineer team. Let's go ahead and pull their schedule up, remaining schedule. Hopefully you can see it for those listening. We'll walk through it here, but they're sitting here at 13-6 on the season. They are 4-2 in the Big 12. Now, of all the remaining games they have 12 games left on the schedule. All of them obviously Big 12 games. A lot of opportunities for wins here. This is where the scheduling that we've talked about on this show multiple times could really come in and be a blessing for this team. They did not draw the hardest schedule, to be honest. But for a team who's rebuilding with a brand new roster, that's a good thing. And when you look at it, they have their next game is obviously on the road at number 1 team in the country, Arizona. Arizona's undefeated. They're 20-0. I'm going to go ahead and pencil that in as a loss. Now, you never know. Crazy things happen in college basketball. West Virginia could go there and get a win, but I'm not counting on it. They're likely losing that one. But, man, when you look at the way it lays out, they come back home. They have Kansas State and Baylor are both at home. Those should both be wins, technically or theoretically. West Virginia should win both of those games. Then they go back on the road again to go to Cincinnati, a team that it's a road game. It's going to be tougher. They beat Cincinnati at home. It's going to be tougher to beat them on the road, but it's a winnable game. They've now gotten the monkey off their back to prove to themselves that they can win on the road. They're getting better. You can see they're getting more comfortable with each other. You can see that they're starting to gel a little better as a team. They're playing better basketball on both ends of the court. They're getting better potentially at the right time, and they still have room to grow. But they should be able to beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati. So I'm penciling that in as a win as well. So that's 3-1 in the next 4 games they should be. Now then they have to come back home to play Texas Tech, who's ranked. I don't see them winning that one. I think that's where their home win streak gets snapped right there. So that puts them at what, 4-2? Then they go on the road again to face UCF. They can win that game. UCF's a pretty good team. But again, it's winnable. It's going to be tough, but it's winnable. Then they have Utah at home. Should be a win. TCU away and Oklahoma State away. Both winnable, especially TCU. Oklahoma State may be a little tougher. Then all road games in the Big 12 are tough, don't get me wrong. But then you've got BYU at home. You're not winning that one, I don't think. Then you have Kansas State on the road, UCF at home, and then the Big 12 tournament. But I've got West Virginia penciled in right now to finish, just my prediction, to finish the season, to win 7 of their next 12 games and finish 11-7 in the league and 20-11 overall. And if they do that, I believe they will get into the Big 12, into the NCAA tournament. It might be close because they're not going to have a ton of quad 1 wins, but I think they can squeeze in, especially if they can win a couple of games in the Big 12 tournament. However, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, and I do want to put a caveat to this. I don't think we need to let this Arizona State game. I'm speaking to myself here. We don't need to let this Arizona State game cause us to get ahead of ourselves, because I just don't think Arizona State is a very good basketball team. They're now 1-5 in the league. I think that dropped them to 10-9 overall. And I mean, even when West Virginia was losing by 13 points in that game, I didn't feel like they were out of it. West Virginia just looked like a better basketball team yesterday, to be honest with you. So I still felt like, okay, it's early still, plenty of time to go. They're down 13. Treysen Eaglestaff's starting to make some shots. They're going to be okay. And they ended up winning the game by 11 points, 12 points. So I thought they were the better team, and they showed it in the second half by coming back and getting the lead and holding on to the lead. That was important too. They had not been able to hold on to leads in early games this year. But they got the monkey off their back. They finally won on the road. But, again, it was against a team who's not all that good. Cincinnati, going to be a tougher win. UCF will be a tougher win on the road. Maybe even Kansas State. So I'm not counting on all those wins, but what they have to win the games at home against Baylor, Kansas State, Utah, UCF. You have to win. Even if you win those games alone, that's 8 wins in league play. Then if you sneak off one more road win, that's 9-9 in league play. That gets you to 18-13 overall on the season, 9-9 in the Big 12. I think you do. I think you're on the bubble with that record. I really do. So West Virginia right now has a really, in my opinion, assuming they stay healthy, they have a legitimate chance to make it into the NCAA tournament. They're not going to get a high seed, and they have to hold serve at home against the teams that they are supposed to beat. And it would really help them if they can pull off an upset win over somebody like Arizona or BYU or Texas Tech. You know, the Texas Tech game and BYU game are both at home. Can they win one of those? Pull off the giant upset. Get another quality win, another quad 1 win on the resume at home against a ranked opponent. That would go a long, long way in helping them get into March Madness. But if they can continue to play the way they're playing, be really good on the defensive end, be more efficient on offense, and Treysen Eaglestaff continues to score the ball the way he's scoring, they're going to have to start paying more attention to him, which could open up more shots for Honor Huff. Then we could really see this offense start to roll. But I really like the direction they're going. Again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think they're proving now that they can win games on the road. They just needed to get over the hump and win that first one, and now maybe they can get rolling. But I want to hear what you think in the comment section. Do you agree with my prediction of 20-11 overall and 11-7 in the Big 12, or do you think I'm being a little bit too optimistic? Again, maybe I'm going against my own judgment here by saying that we don't need to get up too far ahead of ourselves based on the Arizona State win. But I really liked the way that team looked. Even though they got down early, I thought they looked like the better team, and they didn't quit. They kept with the game plan. They executed late. Ross Hodge, I thought, did an excellent job coaching, drew up some really good plays out of timeouts, pushed all the right buttons on the defensive and offensive ends. Ross Hodge is really starting to show, I think, that he's a really good basketball coach. And I think a lot of those fans who were wanting to fire him earlier in the year, I don't see a lot of that. I don't see a lot of those people saying that anymore. So hopefully they've quieted down. But we still have a long way to go, 12 more games. Let's see what they can do. Can they keep the momentum going? They've now won 2 games in a row in the Big 12. Don't expect them to beat Arizona on the road, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe that win was the one they needed to give them that confidence to go do something and pull off something big like that. We will see on Saturday. I think the game tips at 2 p.m. and is going to air, I believe, on CBS. Yep, Saturday, 2 p.m. at Arizona. Let me see what TV network it's on. I'm pretty confident it's on CBS. Pull up the old handy-dandy ESPN app here as I'm doing the show. Yes, CBS, 2 p.m. Saturday, January 24th. They are at Arizona. It's going to be an exciting game to watch. My hope is that West Virginia can be competitive in that game, and when you get down to late in the second half, it's not a blowout. If they can keep it within a couple scores, couple baskets, I'll be content with that, because Arizona, again, they're an undefeated number 1 team in the country for a reason. They're really talented. They have NBA talent on that roster. So it's going to be a tough road to hoe if West Virginia expects to go in and win it there. But just compete, play hard, and prove that you belong. That's all I'm asking for that team, because so far they didn't do that against Iowa State, and they didn't do it against Houston. I think if they can do that against Arizona, it'll really show us that they're a better basketball team, and that's what I'm hoping for. All right, let me know what you think in the comment section about the win over Arizona State, and also what your thoughts are about this team going forward. And do you see them making it into March Madness? And if so, what do you think their record is if they do? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below. It's free to do. Right below the video. Also, there's a subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to Couz's Corner and you like West Virginia Mountaineer content, what are you doing? Make it happen. And it's free. And make sure you hit your notification bell, too, to be notified of future videos if you do subscribe. Real quick, I want to give a shout-out to my paid VIP channel members of this episode. They are Dane the Surveyor, Luke Armacost, Lonnie Johansson, DRP4, and Jared Hill. Thank you all for being paid VIP members. If you want to be a paid VIP member, should be a join button below the video. It's either white, red, or black, depending on your device. Press it. It walks you through the steps, shows you the levels that are available, and what perks come with each of those. I appreciate you joining the show. I appreciate you listening. If you're listening on audio-only platforms, please leave us a 5-star review. Hope the rest of your day's top shelf. God bless you, and Q Country Roads.